Hello and welcome back to Car Rental University. I am your host, Alex Withrow. Today we are going to talk about 10 things that Getaround needs to fix to make themselves an elite car share platform. Before I get into that, click below, grab the 5 things you must do before starting a car rental business. That also comes with the car share growth guide, which gives you a city-by-city breakdown of which car share platforms are strongest in your area. Definitely check it out. Give this channel a subscribe and a like. I always appreciate that. So I had a very interesting high-level call with one of Getaround's executives recently. To be honest, I haven't talked to him in a while. They have been in the process of firing a lot of people. Everyone I used to know there has pretty much been tossed or has left. There is a new guard of Getaround. As a general high-level impression, I was very, very pleased to hear the direction that Getaround is moving in. I think this new team, and trust me when I say it is a very new team, has a whole new cast of characters. There are some holdovers from the old guard. I think this is the right group of folks to lead Getaround into what I believe it really can be. In my opinion, I have seen glimpses of greatness with Getaround. Trust me when I say this, I am rooting so hard for Getaround. And I know many of you who really prefer Getaround as your car sharing platform. Big complaint about them is their consistency. And some months it's amazing and some months it's awful. I totally agree. I couldn't agree with you guys more. And up to this day, I still experience that myself. I want to give you guys a breakdown of 10 things I think they can do to really bring them to an elite car share platform, which I think can really be the best car share platform in this industry, even better than Turo. Number 1, more split options. I understand the 60-40 thing, I get it, but in my opinion, there needs to be like an 85-15 split, there needs to be a 90-10, and maybe an option for 70-30. The rest of the industry is doing this. Turo obviously has 5 options, Hyrecar has 4 options, Uber Car Share has 3 options. Promise you it has to happen. I'll give the example of Turo. Turo has 5 different levels, and what it's doing is that it really is incentivizing you to scale. So the fee is much less, and you can handle and stomach that higher deductible because you have many more cars in the fleet. So if you have a 20 or 30 car fleet, doing that 85-15 split or the 90-10 split, it's not a big deal to stomach a $1,600 deductible. Not a big deal because you've got so much revenue coming in already. The Getaround system needs to incorporate this if they want to get really big fleet operators to run through this. I will say, conversely, that the ease of use with the Connect system and drivers and renters able to let themselves in and out of the car, that does make it easy to scale on that side of things from an operational standpoint. But from a revenue standpoint, unless there is a beautiful and amazing day rate that's being charged by some miracle, it would be so nice if we could get more profit split options with Getaround. I would absolutely love that. To me, that is absolutely the first and top priority I would say that has to happen. Speaking of day rates and payouts, my general feeling about the Getaround algorithm, there have been times I have seen that algorithm perform miracles over the years. I remember doing a video probably about 2 years ago about who has the best day rate of all the car share platforms, and Getaround at the time had the best day rate. That algorithm, by some miracle, was doing a great job and really extracting a lot of money out of customers, so much so that they were paying it and you as a host were still getting 60 to 80 bucks a day and they were still taking their 40% cut. Like, that was amazing. What I'm seeing a lot these days is cheaper prices for renters. Obviously, they're trying to build their customer base. I get that. In terms of the economics of it, it doesn't make sense for a large fleet operator. It's very shaky. As a fleet operator, I will say this. If that revenue's not coming in under $1,000 in revenue for us a month, not good. It's just not good. $1,000 has to be the baseline. It really has to be the baseline. Anything over that, beautiful. If it's coming in consistently below $1,000 a month, we can't use Getaround. That's just a reality. Faster Connect system installs. This is an issue with Getaround, and it's a bit of a constraint for them with regards to scaling and catching up to Turo. With Turo, you upload a car online, you plug in the VIN, pictures, registration, and they've got you online in like 10 minutes. Whereas with Getaround, it's a little trickier because you have to do that Connect install for their vehicle telematics. In some situations, it's not too hard to get that installed. I just literally scheduled one today. We've got it set up for a few days from now. No big deal. In certain areas, in certain cities, it's very hard to find someone who does the Connect install. Typically, I know that in certain cities, there's only a handful of these shops that do Connect installs. And so that's been a challenge on some level. In terms of charging the host money to get this installed, I just think that if you need more cars and more supply on the platform, don't charge people for Connect installs. sales. I understand that it may get expensive over time. You're still collecting that 18, 20 bucks a month in the subscription each month. In my opinion, it would be great if that install fee, 99 bucks, whatever, was waived. In the old days, it used to be waived, especially if you brought a lot of cars, but as of late, hosts are getting charged 99 bucks for an install fee. It feels like I'm a sales rep coming into a company having to pay money to join the company. That makes no sense. Let's talk about claims. Faster claims payouts. Oh my gosh, that has been the big complaint in the last year. And look, back in 2021, 2022, Getaround claims were like down to clockwork. It was amazing. It was in a great place. You'd file a claim, claims adjuster would look at it, send in the report, and that money was coming back in a matter of days. Over the last year, that has not been the case. I'm pretty sure the reason for that is there have been cash issues. We all know that anytime there's slow claims payouts in mass to hosts, that smells like a cash issue. However, Getaround has hauled in 2 massive funding rounds lately of about $50 to $80 million, so I'm hoping this won't be a problem anymore. And I expect this won't be a problem much longer because they do have cash now. They're in a place where they really can get that claim system tightened up and paid out quickly. I really expect by the end of this year that Getaround claims will be in a good place for sure. Next. Okay, this is a dirty little secret with Getaround, but it's becoming enough of an issue where I feel like it needs to be said. There have been Connect System IPDM issues. When I say the IPDM, that's when the Connect System can potentially short the IPDM, the electrical system on a car. This is very rare, but I have heard about this happening 3 or 4 times. Like I said, it's a very rare thing. I've been on Getaround for years. It has happened to me once. And so I do think that there is something that needs to be looked at in that scenario with the Connect system and how it is interacting with the electrical system on cars. That is something that cannot get out of control for Getaround. That has the potential to really sink their business if the reputation on that grows and really grows far and wide. That is something that if I was in Getaround, I would take a look at that right now because I'm starting to hear about it and it's not a good reputation. It is definitely something that could really hurt the business. Next, more frequent payouts. This is something I hear a lot from hosts. Basically, what they are saying is that everyone's operating on a pretty tight budget in terms of the cars, payments, auto loans, maintenance. If you get $1,000 surprise maintenance expense on a car, probably about half of hosts would have trouble paying that. That would be my guess. I think that if we're going to really get into the mindset of a host, we need to understand that a monthly payout is not easy to accommodate. It would be ideal if after 24 hours of a trip that gets completed, that payout hits the account. It would be so much better, and I know this would help a lot of hosts from a cash flow standpoint. It would make it a lot more competitive with the Turo host system. Additionally, we've talked about this before in the past, but I'll talk about it again. More marketing. We just need more brand awareness of Getaround. I've said this before and I'll say it again. If you asked 10 people on the street if they've heard of Turo, I would say about half at this point have heard of Turo. Turo's brand awareness is becoming pretty mainstream. It's not anything like Apple or AT&T, but I would say that it's getting out there more. We are seeing more TV commercials from Turo and whatnot. If you ask anyone if they know who Getaround is, I'd say 1 out of 10 people know who Getaround is, typically in markets like Boston, New York City, DC, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. They're very big in San Francisco, actually. I understand that Getaround's not going to be a household name overnight. That's fine. But there should be a general push to just get the brand out there more through a variety of channels to really just get more renters and people into this idea and mindset that we can rent a car for a day, for a weekend, and we don't have to actually own a car in a major city. That is a really appealing idea to people who live in major cities. I have, for many years, lived like this. I do own a car, but many times I either Uber around, or if I need to use a car for a day or a weekend, I'll just pop into a rental, take that around, and just use that as needed. It's a lot cheaper than owning a car these days. That's just the reality. Next, with all this new funding, let's get some guaranteed earnings back for hosts. There is nothing like guaranteed earnings that will get that car supply back up in every single city. I remember the days of 2020, 2021. Oh boy, did we love that cash. Getaround knows how to get cars on the platform. It's just a function of paying for it. And it is expensive. I know it's very expensive. But I will say that when you are putting cars in certain zip codes and giving $700, $800, $900 guaranteed earnings for those cars, that is very convincing for hosts to get that Connect system on the car and put them in those zip codes. codes to get those guaranteed earnings. It is excellent. Whenever I get an email about that, my blood gets tingly. I get the hairs on the back of my neck start popping up. I get so excited about guaranteed earnings. So I think that is an excellent way to bring hosts and the supply of cars back to Getaround. Next, I would love to see the account management team come back to its former glory. I remember the days of 2020, 2021, where you worked with the account management team if you had 3 or more cars, and they were excellent. They were really excellent. I'm not going to name names, but I can think of about 5 different people on that team who were really excellent, really good at helping you place cars in the right places, in the right zip code. They were basically working with you to grow your fleet. I got so many compliments from so many hosts with regards to the account management team at Getaround. I know that a lot of them got laid off, a lot of them have moved on. That's sad to me because there was a lot of excellent experience and knowledge within the Getaround account management team that has left. I know they are rebuilding it right now. It is the kind of thing where I would love to see that come back, and I think that used to be a real strong suit of Getaround, and I would love to see that really come back with the company. Lastly, I want to say that I think it would be a great thing if Getaround treats their hosts like their sales reps. The old guard of Getaround used to think of themselves as a tech company, but not really a car rental company, and they resisted the idea of being a car rental company. And look, I understand that out in Silicon Valley, this is a very tempting idea, but the reality is this is a rental company who is actually, by the way, very good at tech. But still, that idea of the technology plus the rental component have to be fused together because that is ultimately what the company is. Now, that said, is this company talented at technology? Absolutely. No doubt, we've always known that. Getaround has the best programmers in the industry. That's obvious. We've seen that forever. However, it has to bring everything else together to make this make economic sense for the hosts. The hosts are the sales team, and the sales team needs to have a very strong incentive to work with Getaround because there is obviously freedom and competition in this industry where they can move those cars to Turo, Uber Car Share, Hyrecar, private rentals, whatever. This industry is getting more competitive. Hosts are learning how to do private rentals now, and so this has to make compelling economic sense to keep the car on this platform. I am very bullish right now based on the last conversation I had with Getaround. They've done a full clean house. They even have a new CEO now. I do think things are moving in the right direction. I'm very encouraged by the recent conversation I had with them. Normally this would be thousands of dollars of consulting information, but I'm happy to put this one on the house. I really hope that Getaround can become a real dominant player in this industry. I would love to see that for not only their own company, but for the hosts that put their cars on Getaround. All that to say, drop some comments. I know a lot of you have a lot to say and think about Getaround. Before I go, click below, grab the 5 things you must do before starting a car rental business. I will catch you in the next episode. Thank you. Kairos Mobility Ventures, a startup in the electric mobility space as well as the peer-to-peer rental space. The big news I want to share with you is that we have, as of about a month ago, launched a co-hosting program. Now, what is co-hosting exactly? If you are not familiar, it's when you, as the owner of a car, give us a car to manage and operate on your behalf. We handle everything. You just get a report and a check at the end of the month. In terms of repairs, incidents, issues, whatever, we will handle all of that. Basically, we give you a profit split. Right now, we are running a promotion for an 80-20 profit split. If you give us an electric vehicle, we will give you a 90-10 profit split. Some of you are not really cut out for operations, or you may just have a few cars and you're like, oh, I'm tired of this already. If that is you and you want to give your car to us up in Boston, we will manage your car on your behalf, send you a check, send you a report once a month. If you are interested in this, click below, grab that submission link and fill it out. I will get back to you shortly.